You're listening to Witch Wednesdays, your weekly podcast source for all things witchcraft in the modern world. Join your hosts, Steph and Tara, every Wednesday morning as they dive into a new witchy topic.
Welcome back to Witch Wednesdays. This is Steph.
And this is Tara.
And you are listening to episode 31 about our upcoming sabbat, Lammas.
Woohoo! I love Lammas.
You love all our sabbat episodes.
I do. I really do. I love celebrating holidays.
You do. So Lammas is the first harvest festival of the year, and it's one of the 4 Celtic fire we talked about when we talked about Beltane. Lammas also often gets overlooked, I think, because it sits between Litha and Mavan, which are like big, really popular ones.
Yeah.
But Lammas is actually one of the main ones.
Yes.
There's considered 4 greater sabbats and 4 lesser, and this is one of the greater ones, so it's surprising that it gets overlooked. But anyway, it is also known as Lunasa, even though they were originally 2 separate celebrations from 2 different cultures. Lammas is a Saxon festival, believed to have been derived from the Saxon loaf mess, whereas Lunasa is named after the Celtic god Lu, who is the god of the sun and skill or craftsmanship. So, as you might imagine, loaves of bread and the sun are massive parts of this festival.
I love bread.
Yeah, so that is why we gave you the whole bread episode last week, so you could be ready for today.
Yes. Bake that bread.
The festivities fall between July 31st and August 2nd in the Northern Hemisphere and January 31st and February 2nd in the Southern Hemisphere. It is a harvest festival, so it's all about reaping rewards and bounties. And it's the time to appreciate all the earth has done for us, but also understand that there are darker times coming.
Yes. It's a time of getting prepared.
Yes. A lot of the traditions surround the first crop that's harvested at this time, which is wheat. The first sheaf of wheat is often cut ceremoniously, the grain separated, and then is used to make bread.
Yep.
This bread is then shared with the entire community.
Yes, you share the bounty.
Last sheaf is also cut ceremoniously, but then it is turned into a corn dolly. This dolly is stored until the new year at Samhain and then reburied into the earth. Yep. Another Lammas-related tradition is the Lammas bannock, and it's a cake that is both baked and eaten outside. And as the cake is being eaten, pieces are thrown over the shoulder to feed the predatory animals that live in the area as a petition to these animals to not eat the livestock in the coming year.
It's also, again, part of sharing the bounty. So you're sharing what you have with them in the hopes that they don't take the things that are not bountiful, like the animals.
Yeah, so that is a big belief of this festival in general. And let's be honest, life in general, that sharing your bounty means that good things will come back to you.
Yes.
So that is how that works.
Yep. Put good energy out in the universe and it'll come back to you.
So as we usually do with these Sabbath episodes, let's get into the correspondences.
There's so many.
This one does have a lot. So the colors traditionally associated with Lammas are brown, orange, gold, yellow, and green. So it's those traditional harvest nature colors, but you still get a little bit of that green in there because we're still in the summer season.
Yep.
The animals are cows, sheep, roosters, and bucks.
So very traditional farm animals, basically.
Yes. The crystals are citrine, which we talked about in the crystals episode as being associated with the sun, cat's eye, carnelian, and aventurine. The herbs, flowers, trees are tons of them. Wheat, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Also, barley, oats, and rye, things that you harvest. Sage, meadowsweet, rose, aloe, heather, oak, basil, elderflower, and sunflower.
Yes.
Lots, because harvest season. The foods are breads, of course, which is why we did last week's episode. Mm-hmm. Apples, grains, potatoes, beer.
Yay, beer and mead.
Pears, rice, elderflower drinks, and mead. So stay tuned because next week is all about booze.
Mead.
Mead, yeah,
And
mead,
wine
cider,
and
wine.
beer.
So we're going to get into all that next week. The incense and oils are rose, rosemary, frankincense, and sandalwood. The deities are Lu, of course, Demeter, Persephone, Loki, Thor, Odin, and Caridwen. And Caridwen is like the Celtic goddess underworld related, sort of like Persephone is. So it's all about that rebirth transition period. And the spells that are good to work at this time are all about money, abundance, career, health, and connection.
So think community. It's very community and bounty related.
Exactly. So let's get into the fun part, which is how you can celebrate. Woo! Wear the colors. We always talk about that. You can always wear the colors if you are in the broom closet and don't or can't necessarily outwardly celebrate this. Wearing the colors is a good way to sort of subtly acknowledge the festivities, but not draw too much attention to yourself. Some other good, in the broom closet things to do is just take a nature walk and collect berries. Nothing poisonous. Be smart.
Yes.
Check your books. Check your guides.
Yeah.
Picking apples and baking pies and crumbles are a good way to celebrate if you're still in the broom closet, because that's obviously something that's popular with everyone, witches or not.
Mm-hmm. I always do an apple braided bread.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
It's very yummy, and it has a little bit of rosemary. Anyway, it's really good. I highly recommend.
If you are, whether you're in or out of the broom closet, you can make corn dollies. Those are very popular this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Bonfires, since this is a fire festival, it is very popular to have bonfires this time of year and to throw petitions into the fire. So there's something associated with Lammas that's called the wicker man, and it's this little wicker man that you make, and you stick your petitions in there, like what you want to ask for, and then you throw the wicker man into the fire. Yes, and burn it. But you can just write your petitions down and just burn those pieces of paper. You don't need a wicker man. Fire dancing.
But the wicker man's fun.
Yeah, wicker man is fun. Fire dancing is another popular one if you're going to use the bonfire, especially if you are part of a coven or celebrating just in general with other witches. Ritual fire dancing is a lot of fun. Baking bread and giving offerings. Obviously, that's why we started with the bread episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the main point, but also to give up those breads as offerings. So offerings back to the earth, to the creatures around. We also mentioned in the Fae episode that bread is one of the things that they do like. Having a feast is very traditional. Even if you're in the broom closet, you can still make a ton of different food. Maybe for your family or friends, you don't have to tell them it's a Lammas feast. It can be just for you. But since this is a holiday about the bounty, it's traditional to make a huge feast and celebrate.
Yes, I do that. I do a huge feast. I invite friends over, and then we have a bonfire. Very
fun.
It is very fun. I like it.
Decorating your altar, of course. We say that for every Sabbath. This is also a good time to dry herbs and flowers for spell work. Go out in nature or in your garden and collect everything and start the process of drying those.
Yep, this is a good time because harvest.
Making a besom is also popular. We talked about that in Witch Tools, and a besom is the broom, and sort of collecting the twigs and things that nature is starting to shed is a good way to get a besom started. And then a lot of people like to do house cleansing, either Bevan to get ready for Samhain or at Samhain, as that's like the new year. Yeah. So making the besom in preparation of doing a house cleanse, this is the holiday that you would do that.
Yes. And you also want to make it early enough, and this is just for personal experience, you want to be able to bless it and cleanse it after you've already assembled it. So it's really good to make it right around this time, because then it's all ready to go for the new year.
Yeah, exactly. Prosperity workings are obviously good for this time to bring in abundance. A lot of people like to do prosperity workings at Samhain at the New Year, but since this is Samhain is kind of when the crops have died out.
Yeah.
So the prosperity is actually more associated with this holiday when everything is in abundance and like being reaped.
Mm-hmm.
Local fests and farmers markets are always popular at this time. This is sort of like the ending of them, but it's when they have the most crops available.
Yes. So
good time to visit those. If they are open by you, they are open here in Chicago. I don't know. Tara, I don't know how
they are open-ish. You have to pre-order things right now, and then it's a drive-through market.
Oh. Yeah. Ours here are not really restricted. They were going to you can't touch anything. Restricted. That's the one restriction on our farmers markets is that they have like rope barriers up, and you just tell the people who are working what you want and they pick it out for you. You can't touch anything. So you don't touch the produce, and then somebody else handles the money. So that doesn't like cross over. But otherwise they are open and there's no like restrictions or anything. So
we have
if they are open by you, that's a good place to go.
It's kind of weird to do a farmer's market where you can't like touch things or see what you're ordering because you have to pre-order, and then they're only allowed to bring in exactly what was been ordered, and then you pick up exactly what was ordered, and you don't interact with all the different vendors and things. It's very strange to me.
We're in strange times, friends.
Yeah.
We really are.
Anyway, like it's very weird, but it's still good to get your fresh produce locally. And
and the last thing that we have on the list to celebrate is to do any sort of dream magic. This is also a good time for dream workings.
Also pay attention to your dreams. Even if you're not doing anything related, this is the time when I get very oddly specific dreams, and it's really good to pay attention to them around this time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. Don't discount your dreams right around here. I mean, never discount your dreams, but pay attention.
That is all of the ideas that we have for you. I personally enjoy Lammas. We are now getting into the half of the year that I enjoy the holidays of. I'm not so big. We've talked about that, like I like Beltane and Letha and all that, but they're not my favorites. I like the dark half of the year. So
I love the light. This is the end of an era.
Yes, we are so opposite. So I feel like this leads up like into my favorites in order. Like I like Lammas. I like Maiman a little more than Lammas. I like Samhain more than Maiman, and Yule is my favorite. So we are getting into the progression of all the things that I love.
Just it's a ramp up to her excitement.
It is. I think people expect me to like Samhain the best, that's my favorite, but it's not, because I like Halloween, which is not the same thing. Halloween's fun, and so I like Samhain. I like the idea of it, but I sort of overlook the like traditions of it in favor of celebrating Halloween.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't recognize Christmas, so Yule is my favorite. Fun fact for you.
Yule, but again, it comes back to food. I like celebrating all the holidays. Don't get me wrong. They're all amazing and I love them all, but I just don't like it being cold. So but actually this year we're going to be celebrating Lammas together.
Yes, we are. That's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
So the last thing that we want to update you on, because this has been something we've been working on and it's kind of fun. In the other Sabbat episodes, we have been asking if you would be interested in a Sabbat-related subscription box. Mm-hmm. That would obviously be 8 times a year that we would start sending out, and would include things to get you ready to celebrate that holiday. Mm-hmm. And it would be, we would include things like crystals and candles, some information about it, maybe books or pendulums or whatever it is that is related that we can find and make a good subscription box for you. And we did get a lot of feedback that people would be interested in something like that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks. We're very excited to offer this to you. The thing is that we really can't start doing that yet because of the current state of the world.
Yes.
It's making it difficult to sort of get all of the things that we would want to put in a box for you
Together.
And, from your end, we totally understand why you might not want to order something that's like coming to your house in the mail. Like, that we're not sick, but some people are not wanting to get anything in the mail from strangers.
No one can know.
Yes. So we totally understand that. So the actual starting of the subscription box is something we're going to offer in the future. We have a lot of good ideas about it, but it's just on hold until things kind of clear up a little bit. Get a little, the restrictions are lifted a little bit. So we're still figuring that out. But what we have been working on instead is a Patreon account. So if you do not know what Patreon is, it is a website, Patreon. And in the notes for this podcast, as well as on our website, I will link to that. So if you go to witchwednesdays.com, I will link to what a Patreon account is. And it is a website where we can offer our patrons, you would subscribe. There will be different tiers that cost a different amount each month. And you can subscribe to get exclusive content that is only available to the patrons.
Yes.
That's basically how that works. Eventually, the highest level tier on there will include the subscription boxes. That's where we're going to offer those and be able to send those out. So even though they're not available yet, that is where you will eventually find them. And we'll definitely update you on this podcast when those come out. But again, it's likely not going to be until 2021.
I was going to say, don't hold your breath just because with the state of the world the way it is and lifestyle changes that are occurring because the state of the world is the way it is, there's just a lot of changes. And so I'm not good at change, and Steph's been having to talk me off a ledge. So,
so we're working through that. So hopefully, next year sometime we can start offering those. But in the meantime, we are offering other exclusive content on Patreon. So if you wanted to check us out there, you will find things that are not on the website and not on this podcast. There are things like blog posts that are not on the blog. There's like written things, videos, and like planning, book reviews. We're going to do spell work on there, so you can kind of see it. Like I talked about doing, like I have a good glamour hair rinse using rosemary. Going to put that on there. A video of Mabon Moon Cider is coming up. All of those things will be on there. And the first tier to join is that when you do join, you will get a oracle card reading. I will do a card pull for you, and you get the card in the mail. I will send it to you and do a complete reading for you based off of that card, and it's yours to keep. Yay! So that is, and there'll be various tiers, lots of information on there. So we encourage you to go check it out because we've been working on that.
We've been working on it, and by we, she means her a lot. I've helped very little, but I'm very excited about it. And I think everyone should feel privileged that she's sending you the cards. She won't even let me touch the oracle cards. Like, I don't get one. Like,
Tara, if you want to sign up to be our first patron, then you can get
I want a card.
But yes, I have done all of the posting on it so far, but Tara will. I promise you, I'm going to make her.
She's going to make me, yeah. There's always that. Much of my life is Steph forcing me to do things.
She promised you more information about tea, so you're going to get
more information about tea. I can show you how to braid bread, which is one of my favorite things. Braided breads are so good.
Witchy book reviews. That's Tara's
book reviews domain. I would say reading a lot. I just haven't been reviewing what I've been reading.
Yes, a lot of book related and kitchen related things are right up Tara's alley. That's like her
my lifestyle. Yes, my lifestyle.
Yes, her lifestyle. So I'm going to work on her and get all that content up for you there. But it is just another way for us to offer more content to you because this podcast is, you know, kind of a limited forum. We can only do so much. Some things are easier in video format for you to see, especially when we kind of walk you through things like various spells and it's casting a circle that it might be just easier to see that in a video format, even though we have directed you to YouTube and other creators who have made that before. But in case you wanted to see it from us, we are going to work on providing all of those things for you. And it is just another way for you to support us as well, because we put a lot of work into this, guys.
Yes. Even though I say Steph does everything, it does take time and effort to put everything together. Like,
it does.
So even though she works way harder than me, I still do put work in, I swear.
Yes, we do put work into this. So it's just a way that you can support us, and we can give something back to you in the form of extra content and work card readings and eventually subscription boxes. And we're going to have all kinds of polls on there. You can contact us directly. It's a very easy way to make comments and interact, not only with us, but with other, you know, witches in this community, and bounce ideas off of each other. And it'll be a good place for us to conduct polls about exactly what you would like to see in your subscription box. So highly encourage you to check that out. We very much appreciate your support. And that is all we have for you this week for Lammas. And next week is like Tara's pride and joy, making wine, meat, and cider podcast. So
I'm really excited about it, guys. She literally sent me an outline, and it's just, this is all you. That's the outline.
Yes, Tara will be completely in charge of next week's episode. So could go either way, but she's very excited.
I am very excited. Even if it's a big old flop, I'm very excited.
But tune in then. We will see you next week.
Follow us on Insta. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Witch Wednesdays with Steph and Tara. Love our content? Consider donating at anchor.fm/witch-wednesdays to help keep our podcast up and running. Please leave us a voicemail on that same site if you have any questions or comments, and follow us on Instagram at Witch Wednesdays Podcast.